Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Tuesday, July the 20th, and welcome to our video commentary. Well, I have a post at the American Thinker today talking about the Texas Democrats, the members of the state legislature, who decided to leave Texas to deny the governor a quorum so that we could go ahead with the special session that he had created. And it's become a very controversial thing. I mean, before on Friday, the local newspaper, the Dallas Morning News, had a strong editorial telling them to come back, that this little thing was not going to play well with Texas voters. But of course, the whole thing has now exploded into a nightmare for the Democrats because five or six of them are now infected with COVID. And now we have another story that apparently a member of Speaker Pelosi's staff has also tested positive for COVID after meeting with these people. So these Democrats are now doing all their presentations by Zoom because nobody wants to be around the Texas Democrats. And this thing has turned into a political version of the Friday 13th movie, or maybe Nightmare in Texas movie. I mean, a total disaster for these Democrats. It's not helping them. And it's going to be a real problem, I think, for many of the Democrats who are running in tight elections. In my American Thinker post, I give specific examples of Democrats who were barely reelected in 2020, very tight races in 2020, who are obviously going to be running in a different district after the districts are redistricted by the state legislature. So this whole thing has turned into a nightmare for the Democrats. And I think the last chapter of this nightmare is going to be on Election Day, when I think a lot of these Democrats are going to lose their seats. Now, many of them represent very safe districts, so nothing's going to happen to them. They will be reelected if they want to run. But there are at least three, and I talk about this in my American Thinker post, three who were elected in very tight numbers the last time. And I think those three are going to be in deep trouble. And doing this little stunt of flying to Washington and now this whole COVID story, I think a lot of them are going to be hurting because they're going to have a very difficult time explaining to voters why they did what they did. And it just doesn't make any sense. People understand that the Democrats are in the minority and therefore they're not going to win these debates in the legislature. But people expect their representatives to work. I mean, look, there's a lot of Republicans in minority positions. In Washington, D.C., the Republicans are in a minority position in the House, and yet they go to work and they try to do the best they can for their districts. So this whole thing has become a total, complete nightmare for the Texas Democrats, and I think that they will see the dividends of this when many of them lose re-election in 2022. Thank you for watching, and if today is your birthday, happy birthday. Bye-bye, everybody.